Hey, I'm live. What's going on, guys? So, having some technical difficulties. Rodimus is trying to get his computer set up to do all the things. Forgot to turn off my notifications. Um, so he's finishing up some of the updates on the computer and stuff like that. He will be popping in. So let me mute my phone real quick because that was stupid. Okay, doing its thing. Totally not Marlin. What's going on? Anthony Aelio, howdy. Jerry, how goes it? But yeah, basically, Rodimus will be here eventually. But he got a laptop. It's an older laptop that they've had around the house. So wanted to start using it for this deal because it's a bit more stable than the phone issue. Then he was having major lag between video and audio. Could hear him fine, but there was like just major lag. So it's all good. So he'll be back later. And obviously, we're going to be talking about episode 5, entitled Char and Garma. It was an interesting episode, to say the least. Very dense episode. I'm surprised I don't have more notes on it. I have a decent amount of notes, but not like an overwhelming amount. So last night we did the Discord live chat. That was kind of fun. Learned some interesting things. Found a very interesting crawfish kit. Captain Casfali is a Char. Yep. Lover of Jesus Mark II. Hello. Your new face. But as it goes, that live chat was fun. So next month should be doing it. I think I'm going to set it for a very specific day or date, like third Saturday or something like that every month, and we'll just continue on that. And then everybody can come and hang out in the Discord chat. Let's just kind of talk about whatever, answer questions, talk about your hobbies, just whatever. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it's a good way to try to get to know you guys a little bit better rather than me just seeing the chat, that kind of stuff. Craig Gang for life. Yes, it sure was something. That's a good way to put it. So, I don't even remember what all I had on the channel last week. Last week was insanely busy between regular work and then trying to get back in the swing of things here. So I had to knock out a bunch of reviews and then edit stuff. And then I still have a big old mess over there from the last Transformers review I did. I still have one to do. And of course, Masterpiece Monday is tomorrow. So we'll be looking at another piece of the Constructicons. And yeah, I did stretch this out. It's okay. So got a lot more stuff going on. I have to do some cleaning here. It was supposed to be done today. Didn't get done. For those who weren't around at the beginning of the live chat yesterday, we discovered that we have a little furry visitor that has been gnawing away at things. Luckily, no real damage. Haven't seen it running around the house or anything, but some boxes up here. Let's see here. Which direction am I? Oh, these guys are right here. These top 4 boxes up here. I came home on Friday and they were knocked over off the shelf, and that's not an easy thing to do. So something must have been up there. So other than hearing some noises, and we found damage to our medicine cabinet on the inside, clearly chewed through. And apparently our neighbors had the same problem. So better get an exterminator out here pretty quick and fix our shit, because we already had enough problems living here. Don't need to deal with rodent issues. But what I was supposed to do was empty out my closet, like pull all those boxes out from Transformers, Gunpla, all that stuff, just to double check nothing's going on in there, and then compile and get rid of a lot of the boxes. Is it doubling for anyone else? What do you mean it's doubling? You mean you have an echo? If so, that's odd. Crawfish Kit was pretty cool. I saw a few painted builds on Twitter. Thought they were real. Yeah, it's crazy. I think they molded real crawfish for that. We're a very gifted sculptors. There's a heck of a delay. What is the actual delay? That's what I gotta wonder, because every time we hit start, it like starts at like 50 seconds. So I gotta wonder, is there a 50-second delay for the actual stream? That's crazy. So I'm just waiting to see if he's coming back. You're haunted, bro. It's a demon. Seems okay now. Okay. It's like randomly jumping back and forth. That's odd. Anybody else having problems? Let me know. I'm thinking that furry visitor is better than the water issue you had. In theory. In theory, it's better because it can be solved hopefully easily. He patched the holes in such a way that it should not be coming back through there. But we checked all the kitchen, everything else like that. There's no other evidence anywhere else. Only outside in the storage closet and then in the bathroom in here. And I was thinking about it. Going inside any of the main walls wouldn't do it any good because it wouldn't be able to go anywhere because walls all have top caps. So it wouldn't be able to go up to anywhere. So if it's running around the ceiling and through the vent area, you know, by the AC unit, which is all open, you know, that makes sense. That's where it came through. That's where how it got to the medicine cabinet, stuff like that. So my thoughts, if it was in here and it knocked all that stuff over and then left, we haven't seen any other evidence or really even heard anything since then. So in theory, it went back to where it came from, and then we blocked the hole for now. So hopefully that's dealt with. Other thing, I went to IKEA. I picked up some cool new, well, not cool new stuff. I picked up some more lights. So I have a video coming on that because I did something different this time around. And also, screw the guy who had a cart full of the Norfly lights and was coming back in with them. So I'm guessing they bought a bunch to like just do somebody's room or a closet probably, and then probably couldn't figure out how to work them because, like, I don't know another reason why anybody's coming in the exit with a cart full of stuff if they're not returning it. So I wasn't able to get all the lights I needed to finish the next cabinet, but I'd made some progress. So it's okay. It'll be fine. Hey, we already got 12 people watching. No Super Bowl. We got more people to watch this week. Also, the XFL kicked off this weekend. I did not get a chance to watch that, but my cousin was there. A few other friends were actually at the new games. Oh, hey, there's Erodimus. Let's see what's going on. Hello.
Why can't I hear anything?
I don't know, but your video is synced up.
Still having technical difficulties, apparently.
So
hell?
we fixed the video. Now the audio's a problem.
I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
What is going on?
So he also originally didn't have his headphones plugged in and was wondering why he couldn't hear me.
Test, test, test.
Can you hear me? Check the headset drivers. No, the funny thing is that his headset was working, his mic was working, the camera was crap. Now we got the camera settled mostly, and now the audio things are crap. Mic not plugged in. No, that'd be funny. He speaks. How could you get to the Discord chat? Say what? I wish it were not so expensive to get IKEA shipped to me in Ohio. Yeah, shipping IKEA stuff sucks. That's why I don't do it. Oh, he dropped out again. He'll be back. How could you get to the Discord chat? I told you how to get to the Discord chat. You have to do the thing. You sign up for Discord. You go to the thing. All the way at the bottom of the channels list is the voice channel. I don't think it was muted. But like all the drivers on that computer are probably way out of date. So he'll be back. If nothing else, he'll have to switch back to his phone, which is annoying in and of itself. So, anyways, what do I got coming up this week? What? Surprisingly, all Transformers stuff, I think. So tomorrow's Masterpiece Monday, regular Transformers review on Thursday, and Flame Toys kit on Friday. And then the lighting video will be Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when I get it edited out. And then now I got to figure out the next thing I want to build. So we'll see what happens. We each had to sacrifice a small child for the entrance to the Discord chat. That's not true, because he might do that. Okay, never mind. I was talking about something else. I don't know what you were talking about. I was going to say, you were in the chat. I don't understand what your comment was. Let me scroll back up. Explain your comment again. How could you get to the Discord chat? How could you? Okay. Either way, I was gonna say explain what you meant, Marlon. Or totally not, Marlon. Sorry, totally not. You're not. I know you're not. Totally not, Marlon. What's really weird is the chat is not doing its thing. Oh my. There it goes. Dude, step one, do the thing. Always do the thing. But realistically, do the thing is like all the steps. Do the thing, and then follow up with the other thing. So, but either way, I still have to rip out everything in there. If nothing else, I really need to condense the boxes, find any empty ones, and just toss them. Like, consolidate leftover runners into bigger boxes, and then just toss probably like half of them. Because, I hold on to the boxes only for moving purposes so that I have somewhere to put kits when we move. But I don't need every box. It's like MG boxes can hold quite a lot and stuff like that. I'm enjoying the relaxing build of the Lambo before I have to worry about the upcoming contest. Yes, that is the other thing that needs to be settled this week is what the prizes and stuff will be. I haven't been able to get a hold of Gundam Planet just yet. Not like they're avoiding me or anything. It's been one of those weeks. It really has. But like I said the other day, the logos and stuff are finished, looking really good. The rules are already set, unless new rules come up along the way. He's back again. Contest hype. Was there like a different chat you were reading from? No, it just I have my phone up here. I'm cheating. Making sure I get one solid view through this whole thing. Oh no, he's back to his phone.
I don't know what happened. I restarted the computer and then suddenly audio stopped working.
This is not better.
And froze and gosh darn it.
It's not better. Turn off your camera. It'll get better. Stream sniping. He's frozen. His internet is like dying today for some reason.
Okay, is this any better at all?
You're synced up finally, am I?
Yeah, you are at least. So
what'd you do?
We can. I'm sorry, folks.
Just for that, you get to lead tonight.
Oh yeah, let's let the person who's having all the technical difficulties lead.
Why not? We did it last week. You did have to stream with no camera. I look forward to swimming in the 15th build day and painting class like the cabinets.
Okay.
I think we know King Cups because he's talking about the build meet on the 15th at Space Cadets.
Okay.
So all good. But yes, contest announcement hopefully coming as soon as I hear back about what we can get for the prizes, because I don't want to start the contest without people know or having stuff secured, basically. So
makes sense.
That's the only deal. I mean, like realistically, I could come back in a month or so and be like, these are the prizes, so that everybody can start what they're doing. So I'll confer with the council, and if everybody agrees, then we'll go ahead and start that. So anyways, now that we are 15 minutes into this deal,
Sorry.
Now you got to do your intro and everything that happened this week, and I'll
Okay.
just sit here and mess with things.
Let's see. What went live on the shelf space? We had the first video of me showing off what I'm doing with the Notchin thing for the Zach Aurelius contest.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other video I posted? Oh, the
how I do it.
Yeah, I finally got around to finishing the base painting on the Leo that I've been working on. That video has gone through like I think 3 set changes.
It just keeps changes because you're updated it over time. The same video.
And like if you looked at, there's the scene where I'm showing the outside and it's all foggy and stuff like that. The tree out front of my house.
Oh, the tree's still there. Before I bought it.
Because I filmed that like ages ago. I think I've been working on that video technically for like over a year.
Wow. Well, I mean, I can beat you. I started a build log for that big kit bash over 2 years ago. So everything will look varied. And it was filmed on a different phone. So, I mean, when I eventually get around to finishing that build log and that build, it's going to go through generations at some point. Ooh, great evening, folks. Hide Atarasi is here. Oh, speaking of things that I forgot about, guys, go over to the Shoki store where the Char Chicken shirt is up. And then also the hashtag nub shaming shirt is available through Valentine's Day. So if you want to make fun of somebody for Valentine's Day for their terrible inability to remove nubs, go order you that. I put that one back on sale just for Joey, so he actually have to wait until Friday to get it. But the Char Chicken shirt is available. That's a new design that I made for myself originally, and then this is like the everybody's version.
Yeah, I'm eventually gonna grab myself one of those because that's just way too amusing.
It's a good looking shirt, honestly. It came out pretty well for like almost no design work whatsoever.
Well, considering you're working off of like the software that's built into the t-shirt company, right?
You know what's funny? I found out that while I was using it, I was trying to get the text on there, and it was just giving me hell. And so I switched from Firefox to Chrome. No problem.
Of course.
So something wrong on that end. So that's why I could do things a little bit easier. But no, they took out some features that they used to have on the design end that is annoying. Like you could add outlines and stuff like that to your text. Now you can't. Stuff like that. So if you're gonna have text on the shirts or hats or whatever, but you want it to be fancier, you have to have that included in the thing you put on it.
You have to be friends with the designer.
Or do it myself, since I did that entire shirt design on my own. You weren't there for that. So go get that before somebody reports it to Sunrise and makes me take it down. As I'm possibly using copyrighted images. I don't know how it works for that particular item. But
it's a gray area at best.
It's a gray area, so go buy those real quick. They're actually a decent price. And you can even get a hoodie while it's still cold. So, all right, let's roll into this. Episode 5, Cha and Gamma. I'm going to do the whole thing in an Australian accent.
No.
That's right. Australia is not in this one. Neither is Australia. And as we learned last week, Australia is not around anymore. Neither is Artesia. So last time on Gundam Origin. Yeah, Casval left to be Char. And yeah, so that was great. Hold on, that's balked up. That's funny. All right.
So we open up on side 3 with a military band playing as we zoom in on the colony.
This is true. That happens. And it's got big old number down the side. I think, what does it say? Guardian?
Yeah, it says Guardian. Something Guardian to note about those.
Yeah.
The size of those letters would have to be like the size of like a
Those are
city.
miles. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are like several thousand feet long. How much paint did they waste putting the names on the side of that? For Texas, I get it. But
yeah.
imagine if they painted the Texas flag on the outside of that thing. So
Um,
it's just it's only a limited time until he gets
it
sued.
would take all the cans of Tamiya.
All the cans. All right, so basically it opens up. They're finally at their training camp for the, I guess, Munzo Defense Forces, more or less, because they're not quite Xeon just yet. And but training camp, and somebody forgot to turn off their buzzer.
Sorry.
How did the colony hit Australia? Everybody knows Australia doesn't have gravity since it's upside down. Anyways, realistically, the pre-roll for the most part of this episode is Char's better at everything.
Yeah.
He starts out running ahead of everybody. Then we go to basketball, which is all fun and stuff. And they actually see Garma playing, and he shoots what I assume is a three-pointer through a crowd, which is great and all, until they look over at Char, who's like completely charging the line, runs through everybody, and then dunks. Is it easier to dunk on a colony?
I would imagine it's set up to have standard Earth gravity, so I would think it would be about the same. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit less.
Maybe. I do have it. I'll come up with something here in a minute having to do with the way colonies work. Okay, so then we go also to fencing, which you're a fan of.
Yeah, I had to give this a second look at first because I'm like, why the heck is he attacking the head? You're not. Oh, okay. Those bell guards might be epee. So yeah, that is a legitimate thing, but most people don't fence like that. This is also a reference to a sword fight that happens at the end of first Gundam.
Well, also the sword fight we already saw. So where he stabbed the dude in the face, like not even going for body shots, he's just constantly going straight for the head.
Yeah.
Yes, please turn off all phones for the duration of the feature. Oh, unless that's how you're watching.
On you.
Don't do that. I thought the fencing was funny. You know, he beats whoever that was, and then I remember that I think it's his roommate or his old friend that we talked to last time. He's like, was he always this athletic?
Yeah, he's putting two and two together, basically.
Oh yeah, and he didn't get it at first. Apparently, I'm gonna guess this is within a couple days of the last episode. But then we also go to the gun range where Garma is shooting up a storm, doing pretty good. And then I love the guys around him are all like just worshiping his balls because he's a Zabi. And they're like, oh look, you got another one in the 10 ring. And then they go over to Char, who just got one outside of the 10 ring. Like, oops, that one slipped.
I kept on thinking of the song "Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better."
Literally. But yeah, so I mean, I love that scene because Char's like, "Oh, done." Ching, pull up the slide back. The expended round flies over his head, and then Garma just staring at him, and he looks over at him like, "What?"
He's like, you'll do better if you look at the target.
If you're not focusing on me, you'll probably do better. And that's actually kind of the lesson of this episode entirely summed up right there in that one line. If you're not so focused on me, maybe you'd do better.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, basically, he starts. You can see right there, it gets instilled in Garma that, look, I'm a Zabi. I should be the head of all of this stuff. I should be better than everyone. I'm not going to let this guy get the best of me.
I kind of admire the fact that Garma isn't just letting himself slide in as, rich politician's kid. He is actually trying to be the very best at the academy. It's just, Char's better.
And it's not like he's bad. He's probably better than everyone else in reality, except for Char.
Because it shows like he's doing good in the track. He's doing good in the basketball. We don't really see him fencing or something. And his target practice ain't that bad. Certainly better than me, but I'm, a crappy shot. So.
Yeah. There's one thing about that though, and it's kind of something that he says later in the episode. And given his fame and connections, it's entirely possible people are letting him be better. You know, now the shooting range, that's all on him. You know, so he's if he's a good shot on his own, great. But that means the others would have to be faking bad shooting to make him look better. And frankly, you don't get very far ahead of that. But I get the idea that some of these guys, frankly, aren't taking this super serious. They're probably there because they didn't have anywhere to go. You graduated school, go off to military because it's easy. It's just Munzo Defense Force. We don't really do anything anyways. And they probably all have no clue of what's going on the other end, as we find out. But as we discussed last week, we did get a new intro for this episode. Basically, probably covering what happens over the next 3 or 4 episodes. See a lot of upgrades and futuristic things happening. Eventually ending on Charzaku 1. That was pretty cool.
That was really cool. I don't like the song for this though. It's just
I don't either. It sounds like an outro.
That's actually something I have written down. It's not a bad song, but it's just so slow for what is arguably supposed to be a action-oriented show. Yeah.
So I thought it was very calm. Like the previous intro music was great. I like that song. Yeah. Oh, this is a good point. Char goes straight for the head. Thanos must like him if he meets him. Garma never learns the lesson. I read somewhere that Garma and Dozel probably had the same mother, different from Giran and Cassilia. Garma and Dozel have honor and scruples. That makes sense. But that actually brings up a point that I get to here in a minute, which actually is Dozel going over the reports from the current class. Mostly he's going over Garma's scores right off the bat. And, of course, he's good at the more scholastic and thinking things, but physical and military stuff, he's not the best. He's just kind of passing.
So I think is the phrase they say or something.
What did they say?
I think they say like so or something like that.
He's probably got like a C, C rank, but he's A.
Or maybe like mid B or something.
Yeah, he's just kind of average. And we're just going to go with duh on that one. He's not the most physical guy out there. But then he's also like, but this Char person is just ranked high in everything, except he has this little eye problem. And he's got an eye pigment issue. Oh, you mean his eyes are a totally different color than they should be?
I'm wondering if that's if that's supposed to be one of the symptoms or something.
That's exactly what they're getting at here, because they immediately cut to Char putting in eye drops. Now, I'm going to say this here. His dedication to the lie is impressive.
Yeah, that he's putting in freaking eye drops he doesn't need.
He's putting in eye drops. If I had to guess, he had to go through a physical examination, or at least faked a physical examination to say that he had retinal damage from gamma or cosmic rays, whatever, which he explained to his roommate why he's put in eye damages, and he would go blind if he didn't wear a visor or some kind of sunglasses or something like that. Mm-hmm. And already he's very suspicious of this new Char, so he leans in uncomfortably close to where like Char just looks at him like, dude, back off, you're like in a towel.
He gives him the Char death glare trademark.
I don't think that was not necessarily the death glare. That was just a seriously, dude. And he finally notices the eyes are like different, really. It's just like, ugh, and then he puts what I call awkwardly dances away.
Yeah. Well, I have written down here. It's like Char death glares at him, and he walks away normally. Sorta. What the hell was that?
I think he was like trying to be like, that kind of stuff, and it just was super awkward. Yeah, he was just like, oh, I wasn't doing anything weird. Let me follow it up with something weirder, so he doesn't think anything of it. And then he literally goes, "Stop! That's not Char." It's like, yeah.
As soon as he's out of sight, he's leaning against the table, sweating, going, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. So I want the disease that makes me excel at everything. Yeah. Well, develop new typitis.
Or be a coordinator.
Yeah, there you go. You could become a coordinator. You could become well, I'm drawing a blank here. An X rounder. You could be an X rounder. You could be an innovator. That was the answer to what you're asking.
Could have the
technically you can
installed on you.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is that people actually can become innovators just by exposure to GN particles. So it's nothing you have to be born with. You could be, yeah, there you go. You could be a poor orphan on Mars. Just makes you a badass. But at this point, smash cut to the Dark Colony.
Yeah.
We are, as I wrote down, surprise Giram. Okay. I love it's like literally Dozel's like, ah, crap, we have an inspection.
Yeah, he's marching down the hallway going like, crap. Hi, brother.
Yeah.
It's so great to see you.
Okay, so I'm gonna summarize this. Okay, so without going into a whole lot of detail, this is my summary of this scene. Shut it all down. The project isn't going fast enough. All this time, and this is the best you can do. It's like, and you kind of actually get to see the advanced mobile worker that they've been working on. But then the doctor comes in. Not to be confused with the doctor, but the doctor, as in Minovsky, comes in and said, hey, you know what? Don't worry about that. Come look at this PowerPoint presentation I've got for you. It's like, look, we got a smaller Minovsky reactor. It can do a lot more stuff. It's smaller, more compact, and gives you more fluid movement and attitude control. Also, it's crotch powered, and so good that we actually rendered a full-on thing of the suit and everything it can do, so that we could show you that.
We hired an animation company to do this for us.
That's right. We hired an animation company to actually make a very realistic representation of this. Also, basically, mobile suits are going to become the new way of warfare from here on out because of the great thing I invented. That's literally how all of that conversation works. I got food on me.
Yeah, pretty much. Not going to argue with that. You are 100% right.
That's literally a summary of everything that just happened. And then I love this reaction. So Giram actually sits down to watch this whole presentation and everything. And if you look in the background, you actually see on the screen the diagram, and it is the waif, or the WAF, or the WAF. It could be the WAF. Whenever I get that kit, hopefully down the line, that's what I'm going to do. So if and when I get to that review, expect that WAF will be coming.
Is that the new wall?
Yeah, wall. Oh, next month we have models available. Okay. Well, oh, yeah. In that case, yeah, back in the day when it came out, sure. But yeah, it's basically Giram gets up, says, call it Unit 3, get back to work. Oh, sorry about that. It literally just leaves. Just like came in to scare them into working or shut it all down because it's been a waste of time. And then turns around when he's actually told all this greatness is about to happen. And he does ask, he's like, okay, well, how fast can you get it done? And there's like, by the end of the year, he's like, good, get it done. If you don't, well,
have fun with the spacewalk.
Yes. And at this point, we go back to the school because it's the only two scenes we're worried about right now. So basically, they're going on a new training or testing, however you want to call it. So long distance hike. I think it was like 40 kilometers or something like that. I forgot how long it was.
They were wearing like, I want to say, I thought they said something about like 40 kilogram packs or something.
40 kilogram pack. Maybe it was a 10-mile hike. I don't know. It was a long hike through the mountains and stuff. Checkpoints along the way. It was a race. All these things. So, of course, Char takes off to an early lead. Gets to the first checkpoint like way before everybody else, to the point that they remark, dude, you're going kind of fast. Down. You want to slow down? And he just keeps going. And then right behind him, here comes Garma. Basically out of breath, but trying to do everything he can to catch up to him.
Yeah, and that, like I said, he's trying.
Yeah.
He's not going to just let people like just, slow down behind him or something like that. He's actually trying to stay neck and neck with Char. So good on him for that, I think.
Yeah, he's pushing himself really hard to try to keep up with Char. And then right after this, we get a confirmation of a conversation we had so far that they absolutely can control the weather inside the colony. So they know that they're going to get a storm, how long it's going to rain for, and how much rain is going to come down.
That
And
was so cool. That was a really neat little world building touch there, I thought.
Yeah, so they told Terry to turn on the hose for 30 minutes. If you were here last week, you know what I'm talking about. So basically they tell everybody to bunker down, you know, seek shelter. You know, you're going to be walking up a mountain. Get out of the rain, stupids. So of course, Char, being the awesome guy he is, finds the nearest kind of half cave or little overhang to basically keep his head dry. Left his feet out to get wet, but it is what it is. Generally speaking, you probably don't want to be sloshing around in wet boots on a long hike. That's how you get trench foot. But he's got a nice little setup there, and then we look over at Garma, who's like 5 feet away, out in the rain, just covering his like body and stuff, and just sitting there.
So weird because he's just laying there, tarp over the top half of his body with it. He does have his rifle at least partially under the tarp, but just like laying there on the ground, letting his legs and feet get just absolutely soaked by this rain.
Yeah, and you got to think that tarp is technically just funneling more water onto his legs. But here's the funny part. So Char even says, hey, there's room enough under here. You can come join me if you want. You don't have to stay out there. And he basically says no, just in a huff, like, no, screw you. I'm gonna be over here. It's great under this tarp. I don't need your rocks. And then, like a little while later,
saying, I don't need to be under there.
You're beating me to my next joke, which is funny. So a while later, when he believes that Char is asleep, I could have sworn they said it was only going to be like a 30-minute storm. I could have sworn they said it was only going to be like 30 minutes.
I don't have that written down, so I don't know.
Speaking of which, it's raining right now. I thought I could hear it outside. So irony, we're talking about raining and it starts raining. So he thinks Char's asleep. Char's never asleep. He does not sleep. So he takes off to try to get ahead of him. And just take a big old guess how well this is going to go. He gets a little way down the walk, and it gets a little bit narrow. Like you're going to have to kind of scooch up against the actual mountain. And then that's when he totally finds out that Pride is 100% a slippery slope. So his dumbass slips and falls down into like a gorge, kind of. I can't scroll down. Hold on. So I gotta read my notes. It just slides way down, like on his ass, like the whole way. That's a good thing, I guess. He doesn't fall, but he slides a long way down on rocks and everything else. Ends up down in some trees, things like that.
Yeah. My comment on this was like, my hubris.
Yes, your hubris. So, of course, Char comes along because he was watching, and he's just like, "Oh, hey, look, a Garma fell down."
He's like, well, shit. Now I have to rescue the violet hair little bugger.
Yeah. What you doing down there, Garma? And it just goes down there, and he's like, basically, he did hurt his leg, so he can't really get up and stuff. So he's just laying there, and they have a little bit of a conversation. It's like, here, let me help you. And he yells at him to don't help him, don't touch him. I'll kill you if you touch me.
Oh, you, yeah.
And then he goes, well, no, maybe you should just kill me instead. And basically, this is where I just write down, he was useless. He's useless as a zombie. Zombie man should be like this. And then Char kills him with kindness and lots of manipulation. So he picks up a stick and like sharpens it. And like Garman's just watching him like, oh God, is he really going to kill me now? Because this had to have taken minutes. And it's like, like right down past his head. And then he literally just sets up a little tent with his tarp to protect Garma's head for all the good it does, because the water's still hitting the ground and everything around them. So he's still getting wet, but I guess he doesn't get water directly in his face.
Well, he's kind of off the ground because he's laying on his backpack, basically.
In theory, yeah. Hi diddly home, Garma. That's funny. This course trains soldiers to gauge weather by schedule. That's true. That's true. We know exactly how long it's going to rain, so get out there. That's actually funny. That's a good point. Never thought about that. So some time goes by. It's now dark, and Dozel's screaming at the guys at the end. What do you mean they're missing? Or at least that. What do you mean Garma's missing? And so obviously they didn't show up because they're still down there having a pity party. Or I don't understand. So they said, in theory, it was only going to rain for like 30 minutes. Even if it was a heavy rain, it was only going to rain for like 30 minutes. Everybody else went by. They probably weren't completely not visible. They should have been able to see the tracks of somebody who had fallen potentially as they went by the same section after the rain had stopped. That's the other fucked up part, because everyone else completes it except for them, and nobody saw them if they went by on the exact same path. They didn't set up a flare. They didn't set up anything to let people know. Like, why did they wait till dark and then for Garma to finally get over his bullshit to finally get up and move? Because they went to go send out search parties, and then we cut to a conversation that they're having down there. They're via glow sticks, basically. And he's like, "No, I can make it on my own 2 feet." And Char's basically like, "Shut up, asshole."
Your leg is busted. Like, no, you can't. You literally cannot walk. I'll go do it on my own 2 feet. Yeah, sure. Let's try that. Oh no, your leg's broken.
Yeah. Or as I write, Garma says, "Blah blah blah, my pride. Blah blah blah. I'm a zombie." So yeah, basically they end up walking up. Garma's got a makeshift crutch, and Char's holding him up on the other side. And I kind of brought up a point here. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but how, in a way, it's like a metaphor for Char being like a big support of the zombies through the war coming up. In a way. I mean, maybe I'm just reading too much into that. No, but then again, I actually literally wrote Char propping up the future of the zombies, because that's the way they see Garma, is like he's their future. He's the future one who will rule, or whatever the hell. He's their pride and joy, kind of.
You see, I see it more as he's propping up the future of Xeon itself. He's the one that's doing the propping. So this is all all part of the plan. Basically,
it's all part of the plan. It really is. But
that's why he had several chances where he could just straight up kill the kid.
Yeah,
make it look like an accident.
But he needs to get in. He needs to get in good.
It's like, you need to wait your turn.
Well, because the thing is, if he had showed up and just finished without ever checking on him, he still would have been first place. And because he was first place so far, and Garma was behind him, nobody would suspect that anything. He would have just fallen down a thing, could have snapped his neck, left him there, and it would have been over. But there was no reason to kill Garma. Garma didn't do anything to him. He might be a zombie, but he didn't do anything to him. If Garma was not so jealous, he would see that he has a great tool to use against his enemies with Char. Yep. Mm-hmm. But after this, we cut to Char in a towel, because everybody wants to see that, I guess.
It's a reference to First Gundam again.
I know. I've seen the memes. I know what it's from. But I just thought it was funny. It's just like,
they just keep going back to that image.
Like, hey, here's Char in a towel. And he comes out of, for the ladies. He comes out, and his roommate's packing up his stuff. He's like, "Oh, are you leaving?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be with another bunk." Apparently I forgot exactly the wording he says, but essentially you're getting a new roommate. And in walks Garma on a crutch with his people hauling his shit for him. And he says, "You know what?" His entourage. He's like, "You know what? There's no reason to live with yes man. It's like it makes more sense to be with someone who challenges me to be better, you know. And honestly, that's a great
Yeah,
lesson. Instead of being jealous, he went, wait a minute. I was pushing myself to try to be better than this one guy. Everyone else here is already putting me on a pedestal, and I can't fail in their eyes. This guy doesn't give a shit who I am and helped me, and in fact is motivating me to stop being a pussy, basically.
yeah,
Um,
he's doing kind of the right thing. I mean, he's obviously using his influence to basically get him to change rooms and stuff like that, especially since he's supposed to be like head of dorm 2 or something like that, and Char's in dorm 3 or something. So you're
yeah,
obviously manipulating things that way, but yeah, he's doing right to better himself.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I thought that was actually great. Um, and of course, I love the idea. Yes, well, I forgot about this point. Char laughs in his face, like it's a legit laugh. That's what I thought was funny. Like you see him smile afterwards and everything. He's just like this, but I think he was laughing at the irony. It's like I could have killed you, and now you're my roommate, and now I'm living with a zombie. I think that's why he
Yeah,
was laughing.
yeah, I've written down it's like you guys are making this way too easy.
Yeah. In OG Gundam, Garma only spoke to and about Char with respect. Well, of course he would.
Yeah.
He didn't know he wanted them all dead, and he helped him. Not to mention, if anything that happens in this also coincides with what happened in original Gundam's history, then there would be nothing but respect.
Mhm.
But yeah, he definitely still has an inherent jealousy to him. That won't go away even if they become friends. But cut to war games.
Yes.
more training. This time it's another test, and the best test ever. Hey, we've got tanks. You've got APCs. Come and take our base. What? Okay.
They said I think they had like multiple pillboxes set up, didn't they?
Yeah. And basically, they're just doing everything they can at this point to make the Federation look like shitheads, and they're doing a great job. But I like this imagery. So they're trying to come up over the hill. They're getting shot. You see a few guys take some hits. It's mostly paint and stuff like that. So they're not really trying to kill anybody. Though I think it's funny they're not doing like laser tag or something. They're still using like paintballs and smoke bombs. So you see,
was that the magazines and
yeah,
the rifles were pink to indicate that they had
indicate they weren't live rounds. Yeah. So I like this. So you see them pull their squad pulls up on their APC and it gets hit, but then everybody gets out. So you cut to the command center that says, "Oh no, they were lost. They're down." Oh well. Next, because Feddies are completely expecting to win.
Yeah. I mean, their officers are sitting there in that tent drinking tea and coffee and stuff like that, just sort of kicking back as they're, kicking the butts of a bunch of military cadets.
Yeah.
And one would assume that these are probably, fully trained, seasoned, quote unquote, soldiers or something like that going up against the cadets. So it's like, you guys are real class acts there.
Exactly. But what they didn't expect was for Char and his squad to come around on foot. Which in this same point, the dingbat decided to ask him a question about stuff they did back in school. And part of me was thinking, please say the right thing. Please say the right thing. Char says the wrong thing. And then he goes, that's it. He's definitely not him. And I'm just like, dude, you're just going to get yourself killed.
I'm kind of going like Char. I feel what annoys me a little bit with that is like I feel Char should have known better. Like the proper response was like, "Dude, now is not the time. We are literally being shot at. Let's talk later," or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. It should have just not been there. But yeah, he's just like, we're here. I'll ask him because he is in a high stress situation. Odds are he'll tell the truth even in a lie. So it'd be like you'll be able to know that he's lying for sure, one way or the other. So, But yeah, so that's just how that went. Now I forget exactly how they got into the base that they conquered. I think
They went around the back, was my
they
understanding.
snuck around on the back. I was trying to remember if there was a sniping shot or something. I can't remember, but they take over the space, and then I love this in the command center. They said, "Wait, whoa, what? Hold on, how did we lose this bunker?" Like, what do you mean it was lost? And then they get on the radio with Garma and everybody back at the mortars, and they start giving them the exact location to fire on.
Yeah,
I was like, "Hey, start shooting this angle, start shooting this range," and then they just own them at that point.
this has obviously been, this entire scenario is written by somebody who knows their military tactics. Either they got somebody with like the self-defense force or something like that, or some other military vet was brought in to basically direct this scenario, and it's amazingly well done. I really, really enjoyed this entire scene. Plus, it's really cool basically watching Char and these cadets own completely these military guys.
Yeah. Jerry, I don't remember exactly what the sport was. It was something ball. I don't remember. It was an odd name.
Lunar ball.
Lunar ball. That's right. But yeah, this obviously is a point right here. The Feddies were training their colony forces how to lose against the Federation.
Pretty much.
So from here, it goes to post-battle, and everybody's out there. You can see the people who clearly lost because they're covered in blue paint. And the guy who was putting everything on, the Federation officer, is like, you did good. Thanks for beating us. That wasn't supposed. Now, given what happened, we'll give you your individual assignments and this, that, and the other. Good job. Yay for you guys. Yay. Your school's a joke. Yay. And then Char's like,
you're not a real military.
And Char's like, hey, I got a question. And the guy's like, normally we don't do questions, but now I'm going to let you. And she's like, that was his first mistake. You don't let Char talk. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
Don't let him talk. Not the doctor, but the doctor. Going back to, anyways. So he decided to ask, okay, well, since you've been so kind and generous, I'm going to ask 2 questions, okay? And the guy's like, whatever. What? And basically, if this battle was meant to be a real simulation, who would they be training them to fight that has such superior weapons and firepower? Who's like, who are you training them to fight? And then he also says, but if that's true, if this is supposed to be real, are you just basically doing it to prove that we're just a mock military to show the weakness in the colonies and how weak they are against you? And I love it cuts to the ex-roommate, and he's like, oh God, he just said it out loud.
Yeah, it's like he said the quiet part loud.
Yeah. It's like, wait, he wasn't supposed to say that. Char doesn't have inner monologue, I guess. So dude gets really pissed, gets in his face, and asks him his name and rank and all this stuff, and he's like, I'm Char, you're not. Bow. It's like at that point, it's just like, my name is Cosfall Tusakin. Wait, wrong guy. But he yells at him, he's like, take off those glasses. And he's like, okay, so here's what I wrote. Guy gets pissed, tells him to take off the glasses. Oh, you don't take off the glasses. So he slaps him off his face. And then he ends up getting the I'm gonna kill you later face.
Yeah, I have it written down as Char Death Glare TM.
Yeah, the Char Death Glare, 100%. But it's actually kind of similar to the look he gave Artesia as he left, too. This over-the-shoulder look, even though I don't think he wants her dead. This guy, on the other hand, very dead.
Oh, yeah.
And then, basically, at that point, everybody starts yelling, it was inappropriate. He didn't do anything wrong. And the guy was
like, there's nothing against the regulations about him wearing the glasses. What the f are you doing?
Yeah, the guy was basically calling him being insubordinate and stuff like that, which they can punish you for. But he wasn't being insubordinate. He just raised a question, and he not being disrespectful or breaking regulation by wearing the glasses. He was giving you the medical excuse for his glasses when you slapped them off his face.
Yeah.
By the way, nobody talked about our thumbnail this week. I guess it wasn't as impressive.
It doesn't have me as Sayla, so apparently that's not as fun.
There's no more Sayla for right now, so you got to be Garma. But the fact that I purposely put the glasses in the middle of the explosion because that is literally like the kickoff of things.
Yeah.
Not overall, but that is like, oh, you fuckers. I already didn't like you. That was a bad plan. This is the goodbye glare. That's true. Basically, everybody in the class stands up for him. They're all yelling, pick him up, pick them up, pick them up. And then Garma interferes and he's like, look, I'm the head student. I'm a Zabi. He didn't do anything wrong. You're out of line. Pick up his damn glasses.
And apologize.
And apologize. And the guy's like, ugh. And then he literally starts pouring sweat. I love how they animated that, like the sweat intensifies. Yeah. And like he's very carefully like goes to pick up the glasses. And then did they ever show them actually give them back? Like
no, they kind of
feel like they cut away from
like a freeze frame, and it feels like it would be a photograph that would have been taken for like a hit and shown in like a history book or something like that, or in a museum or something like that.
Could you imagine that?
Some sort of subtitle under it saying something about like the moment that the rebellion starts or something like that.
No, because it would be written by the Federation. It would show compassionate commander retrieves lost glasses for student who was struck. But it's spun in such a way you don't know he's the one who struck him. He's just picking up the glasses for him as everyone looks on in approval and respect. Dude, when he was staring down that entire class, he's like, oh shit, there's literally only 3 of us here and we left the real guns elsewhere.
Yeah.
it's like they might kill me if I don't do this. It's not like they don't know already what's going on. The Federation has been interfering with the colonies and policing them and killing them for a while. So, I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, and those other 2 officers that are with him are also rightfully freaking out because they have all these kids ready to
tear their heads off
against them, and there's nothing they could do.
Yeah, and the thing is, they 100% realize they're in the wrong, and they're just think about it as like, oh crap. It's like also the fact that he speaks up, then I'm the Zabi chosen one, so this will get back to my dad, and they're like, oh fuck. Okay, so that's like even more motivation. They're like, we really can't stand to poke the Zabis anymore.
Let's stop poking the bear for just a moment.
Yeah, we'll just do the right thing in this case. I'm just glad they did the right thing here. Once again, this series totally makes Char to be the sympathetic villain of the entire series, even though he's not a villain, but from the perspective of the good guys,
yeah,
he would be. But he's also a good guy for his own people. It's one of those things. So from there, it jumps back to the dorm that night. And you see Garma passed out. He clearly passed out while doing the homework and research and stuff. And he even starts quoting the line like in his sleep. He's like,
wasn't against the regs.
Wasn't against the regulations. Yeah. And then Char walks up behind him with the evil face on it. And it's just like, oh shit, he's going to kill him. I'm like, wait, why would he kill him? And then instead he just covers him up with a blanket. And just like, and then still doesn't give him a great look. But
yeah, I've written down like, don't worry, dude, I'll kill you later.
I'll kill you later. But to me, it's just like, wait, is this an actual friendship building? Like, because he's asleep. He won't know that he did this for him. In theory. I'm just like, he did this of his own will. Like, Garma did me a solid earlier. And it's just like, wait, do I actually respect this Zabi? It's like, it's literally kind of what it comes down to. He's like, at that point, it's not hating him, it's hating himself for doing it. He's just like, I hate that I'm doing this.
He doesn't have a whole lot of time to think about that, though, because when he's walking up to the bed, you suddenly see him kind of look up, confused, and that's when we get our next smash cut.
Yeah, smash cut.
And we see a Federation ship coming into the colony and a Xeon ship leaving. And you're hearing the radio chatter and stuff like, it's like, no, exiting traffic has the right of way. What are you doing? It's like, no, you get out of the way. I'm coming in.
He literally says, this is a priority 1. We're coming in. And they said, no, exiting traffic has the right of way. Just move out of the space lane. Then you can come in. And they're just like, we're coming. They're like, the ship is still leaving, asshole. We're still coming. Wait, turn. And they collide, and it scrapes by and knocks the whole like thruster pod off the Xeon ship or the Munzo ship, whichever way you want to look at it. Also, do those fly upside down on purpose, or is that just the orientation they had in relation? Because
that's just the orientation, I believe.
But what's funny, they showed them all upside down in earlier shots, like episode 1 or 2. They showed them all upside down outside the colony.
But if you look at the ship, it actually had. Remember how I commented that one of the ships the ship that real Char was on was labeled Lunar Line or something like that?
Yeah.
It has that marking as well, though it's a different color this time. But the text is upside down for the viewer, but oriented with the ship.
So is that like a key thing? They're all like different point of view situation, like we're this way, you're this way. So not only were they coming in flipped, but whatever. But it always struck me that so far they've only shown those ships inverted so far. So I just wondered, it's like I've only ever seen them upright. So it's like now it's like all the ones I've seen here are the other way. It's just like, why are they always showing it from a different perspective? I thought it was interesting. There's probably something to that. Probably something there. But basically, after it collides with it, its own main thrusters like explode and they completely lose control. And the Fetty ship that was in such a hurry to be an asshole decides to be a bigger asshole and crash into an agricultural block and destroyed it completely. So everybody died. They lost an entire chunk of food production as well.
Yeah.
Thank God that's all that happened. But wow. And we don't even know what happened to the other ship. I don't even think they mentioned that.
No, we did. I mean, we see it lose a pod, thruster pod, and then kind of float off screen. But we follow that Federation ship where we see like the scrape that happened against its engine caused it to ignite and then explode.
Went out of control,
tumbling into the ag block.
Yeah. Hold on, we got some comments.
Poor defenseless pumpkins flying.
Exactly. We got some comments here. So, Char is definitely a villain when all is said and done. You don't just assassinate a friend who did nothing wrong to you or drop a whole asteroid on mostly innocent people and not be a villain. Sympathetic villain. He's still a villain, but you feel sorry for him because of the reason he's a villain.
He didn't directly kill Garma, if I remember correctly. He just basically allowed him to die.
It's different. Being indifferent is different. All right, Char with a real moral compass wouldn't have killed Garma and would have overthrown the Federation government rather than attempting genocide. He absolutely had the chance by the end of Zeta, and he dropped it. Up is relative. Star Trek, Star Wars conditioned us that there is an up in space. No, I get that there's not an up, but they're literally showing one ship oriented this way, this ship oriented this way, and we already know that the dock is fixed in position. So the way you're going in and out is the one way. Presumably within the dock, there's a ground floor that they operate off of. I assume they don't come in from every direction because there's no gravity in the dock. So
now, I remember. I remember in Unicorn there was a comment about. Like the way the Xeon forces stored like mobile suits was different from way Federation forces did, and I'm trying to remember what the exact phrasing was, and that may relate to the stuff with the way they're orientating things in the colony. Because there was something about like they have their like suits like up against walls and stuff like that, or like ceilings and floors and stuff like that.
If I remember correctly, they're stored horizontally, not
Yeah,
vertically,
they don't
or
have them.
to be
They don't
sleeker.
have them standing, and that's what. And they were, and in Unicorn, when like he parks the Unicorn, they're like, "What the hell are you
It's
doing? Why
vertical. You
is?"
have to be vertical. Yeah. Well, the Kshatriya had to be vertical too by its size.
Well, yeah,
Um,
because it's the size of a freaking warship, basically.
yeah, but either way, my whole point is like I think the one reason they showed that like that is to literally be like, this is a massive difference of perspective, that these guys who are seen as lesser are upside down, and the assholes are coming in the way that they feel is the right orientation. So maybe there's something to the visible aspect of what they're showing us. That's all I'm getting at.
And also, it definitely showing the lack of understanding, because I
The
can
lack of
understand why they
caring.
would have why exiting traffic would have right of ways, because where the hell are they going to go?
They got nowhere to go. Yeah.
Because the entryway isn't that big. It was just barely enough for the ship to fit through, because space is an issue when you're building something.
Yeah.
So
They've got it. They've got it big enough that their largest ship can go through it with no problem. But also the fact that, like you said, there's nowhere for them to go. Like they can't go either way. It's not like a giant cavernous spot that they could go into, and the entryway is only so big. So if you're in the entrance and somebody's like, "No, we're coming in," they can't stop and turn around. It's just like they only dodge at the last second because that's all the time they had. But the fact that these assholes would just come in, just barreling into the entryway for no reason.
Obviously they have no idea how to do any sort of docking thing with a standard designed colony or something like that. They're only used to dealing with stuff, I guess, probably close to Earth orbit. And
maybe it's different, but who knows? But either way, they're being a dick. Odds are there's a general rule: spaced up people in the dock leave first, then you come in once everybody's clear. But come on, man! Like seriously,
plus you could probably have your navigation computer linked up to the computer for the colony or something.
Generally they have the guidance system to take you in or out so that you don't do that. But if you're just being a dick and not even linking up, you're just like, we're coming in. You can't park here. But basically this whole thing leads to the Declaration of Independence. No pun intended. Literally, they're back in the Senate House. New guy, whoever he is, a new representative is there, basically saying, look, years ago, Xeon stood here about to declare independence. Today, that's what we're going to do. We want our independence from the Federation. You don't give a shit about us. You treat us like shit. That's it. We're done. Screw you. And I love that the Federation guy is like in amidst all of the people from the colony. He's just like, and everybody's looking at him, like whoever that representative is like,
facial expressions throughout this entire episode are hilarious.
Yeah. But basically it turns into protests, it turns into riots, which there already were happening for years now, and presumably they get quelled every now and then. But in this case, you start seeing Federation soldiers turning on the people who are protesting and shooting them in the streets, and all of this stuff is just like, wow, like this is crazy.
I'd say that escalated fast, but no, it's been escalating.
It's been escalating for 20 years, yeah. And then like from there, you see Char's squad, like Squad 31 or something like that. I forgot what it's called. They're actually outside. They're cleaning up the lanes from the accident. So they actually do use actually a multitude of types of ships and workers or whatever. They like this multi-armed, really cool. Like this multi-armed probe thingy, like just like shoveling everything into it.
Vacuum ship.
Yeah, how the hell does that work? Like that can't be vacuuming. It's got to be magnetic or something, because they're in a vacuum. That wouldn't be a thing that could happen.
I don't know, but
that made cool. No sense. I was like, how does a space vacuum work?
And then, you also see them dragging a net behind them and stuff like that. And this all kind of makes sense if you know about how, space debris is actually an absolutely awful thing to space travel, because it can it can screw up your navigation, and it can really screw up a ship if you have something going orbital velocity. Even a tiny thing going orbital velocity smack it into the side of your vehicle.
That's why NASA and all these other space agencies we have to track everything that's in orbit, all the thousands of pieces of whatever, every nut, bolt, and everything that's in orbit of Earth, all the space trash, as they call it. They have to time their launches to when the worst of it is mostly clear, so they're not running through a thing. Like that's one thing that like Wally got right, where it literally showed a giant cloud of shit around Earth, like satellites so dense you could barely see through them. So that literally could be our future. By the way, there is a website that you can go to that actually will show you everything essentially in orbit, like where its location is around the planet in real time.
There's a really cool app, at least for in the Apple Store, where it shows the constellations, stuff like that, but it also shows the like satellites and debris, and
yeah,
you can click on it and you'll get a little information. It's like, this was a rocket booster that was left over from this mission from back in the 70s.
Identifying thing, yeah, because they are all tagged, so to speak, because their position is relative, so it's like everything's in orbit. It's just like they can track it that way. If something starts moving out of its orbit, it'd probably be odd. But either way, so space vacuum aside, Char sees one of the new mobile workers out there, actually all painted up in orange and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I'm sad we never got an actual kit for it.
Yeah, because that's a really cool looking design.
It much beefier. They gave it real arms, real legs. I mean, you can definitely look at it and go, oh, okay, I can see how we get to the Zaku's from here.
And I kind of dig the giant engine backpack thing on there. The overall aesthetics for that thing is just really cool.
And of course, that was the reason why Giram wanted to cancel it. And they're like, dude, you literally have the engine hanging off the back. But then again, kind of like what happens with the gun tanks. I think that's one reason why shooting it through the head, it's such close relation to what I guess is a fuel tank or something like that that's on the back of the back.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a lot of vital stuff in one shot. Where obviously the tank drive and all that is in the lower portion, but the explodey bits are up top. So they're cleaning up all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they get an alert that there's a ship coming at them. They're like, no ship should be coming in this area. Radio them, tell them to stop. And they're like, we can't. They're ignoring all calls, said to only take Federation codes. And then you zoom out and you see that it's a big old Federation transport. Basically, it's an invasion force.
Yeah, and what I like about this is you can sort of see the design language that would eventually become the white base.
Yeah, a mobile suit carrier, essentially. Even though that's not what it is, it's just it's a big troop carrier, tank carrier, stuff like that. But big dual hull situation. But prior to that, I kind of missed. I glanced over it, but he sees the mobile worker, asks him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, actually, we're working on a thing called a mobile suit that can totally take down the Federation if you're interested."
And Char's looking at like,
anybody.
I like this.
He's like,
come in red.
I like mobile suit.
Well, and what strikes me about the scene is even before Garma leans over and says, "Yeah, that's a mobile worker. We're brothers developing it into a weapon." He's looking at it with an intense look, like that could be a weapon. That could be handy. I'm making all sorts of mental notes about that. And then Garma comes in and just reconfirms everything. He's like, "Oh yeah, I am totally getting me one of those."
Yeah. But he's literally like, yeah, that's what they use as excavators for the colonies and lunar whatever. And it's like, but it can be a weapon. And my brother's actually
to punch a battleship.
We can beat the Federation. But he does take off his headset, at least so everybody else doesn't hear him. But yeah, basically they spot this incoming shit that's about to happen. Meanwhile, more protests are going down. Things are on fire. More people are being killed, realistically. And we cut to the Zabi castle.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Degwin basically telling Giran to rein in the protesters. Like, look, you gotta calm them the fuck down. It's like, we do not want to start a war. We can't win a war against the Federation. They just come in and take out colonies. We don't have the strength. And Kieran's like,
you never know if you don't try.
try. So this really does prove the old man doesn't know what they're up to. Like, I think he really thought, like, okay, we're in power now. We'll very slowly work towards the independence of the colonies in a peaceful-esque manner. Crap.
This really paints Dagwin in a kind of a positive light. If it weren't for the fact that we're like 99.9% certain he ordered Zeon Daikun to be killed.
Yeah.
I would be thinking that he's legitimately just trying to, run the government. He's being a little bit duplicitous and stuff like that, but he's not. He's more neutral than evil, I would say.
He's more of the kill him in silence type than have a giant bloody war type. So if they killed Zeon, or they killed Dakin, however you want to say it, because he was going for revolution, they wanted peace, a peaceful evolution of government. He wanted a radicalized, turn the people into an army against the Federation type. And that's exactly what's happening now. But basically, he looks over at Gear and he's like, look, if you don't stop this, this is going to turn into a real battle, and we're actually going to have to pull in our military who's over here that Garma is a part of. And if he's going to be drawn into it. And if anything happens to him, you're going to come down with a sudden case of explosions.
Don't forget, Garma is my favorite.
Yes.
Not you, not Katsuya. Certainly not Mr. Explodey Pants. And Dose was okay, but he's not my favorite.
Good. He likes a lot. It's like, apparently the older his kids are, the more useless they are to him. So like Caecilia's not even in any of these episodes. They're just like, fuck her. Like, is she out there being quiet? Yeah, good. She's talking too much, damn it. But then it jumps to outside, and there's a couple of tanks in the street and some people like hiding behind cars. And I forget,
on top of cars.
Or on top of cars. Tanks are shooting them point blank. I'm just like,
yeah, I'm looking.
Damn.
I didn't notice that in like my first viewing, but when I watched it the second time, I'm like, holy crap.
Hold on.
Oh, do we have
this comment?
You get a car.
You get a car. You get a car. Jules gets a car. Caecilia wasn't here, but I might as well kill her too.
Anaheim electronic cars, guaranteed to kill your knees.
New from AE. Yeah, the height of Degon's evil was killing Zeon. He wasn't really a bad guy. He just wanted to have peaceful resolutions, not increase the war. Garma's a precious cinnamon roll. Why does he keep saying that? Is there a reference to Garma being a cinnamon roll? Because Lover of Jesus Mark II keeps saying...
Cinnamon roll is a internet phrase for like basically a nice person or something like that you would want to protect.
Okay. All right, so we're near the end of the episode finally, and Char and Garma have returned to the barracks to the cheers of their peers.
They got fancy cape collar,
shoulder dealies. Cool fashion icons.
It designates them as officers, I believe.
Yeah, that's their rank. So he's leader of House 1. He's leader of House 3. That's why he's got a 1 and a 3. Even though we clearly know that's not their actual rank, because clearly Char's better than everybody. Anaheim, Elon Musk's middle name. Yes, Elon Musk is just basically Musk is actually just Anaheim Electronics. And so I look how he has his entourage, like basically clearing the crowd, and he's just like,
bodyguards.
bodyguard. Char's his bodyguard. I mean, come on. They get back to their dorm, and I don't know how the conversation started, but Char basically like, you saw that ship, you know what's coming. If they get in here, they're gonna fuck us all up. There's no way we can win this. And he's like, we have to take the fight to them. We need to go kill those fetty bastards over yonder. And Garma's like, what are you even talking about? He's like, hold on, let me show you my pie chart.
I have a plan. Lays out holographic map
with plans of the barracks. He's got the layout. He's like, look, they already sent a bunch of them to the other colony. It's like, so that means there's only about 2,000 men here. And it's like, his reply,
like, that's like 10 times our force. What the hell are you trying to
do? And he's like, it's okay. So if we kill these guys, we either take out or secure the weapons, we're good. But then we only have another problem. We have to get the spaceport or the whatever. It's like, if we take that down, or if we gain control of that, we keep them from sending any more forces in to help. And then there's also Dozel. And he's like, no, my brother Dozel's a good man. Wait, we can go to him for help. And Char's like, no.
Don't you want to turn the gears of history yourself?
Yeah, I like it. So he literally says, don't you want to turn the gears of history with your own two hands?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And to me, that's just like, that's slow clap worthy. Like, that top-notch manipulation right there. Like, that is the best. Like, of course he's going to appeal to his pride and need to be me to make himself bigger and stand out to the family for real. And it's like, don't you want to be the one? And it's just like, I want that on a shirt. Like, that's the new shirt design. Every week we get a new shirt design. We should do that. Be the one to turn the handle of destiny with your own two hands. Or history, not destiny. That's a different series entirely. And then the episode ends. And it's just like, this was a great episode. And for roughly over 20 minutes, it was like an hour-long movie. It's just like, damn, how did they do that?
They crammed a lot of information, a lot of action, some excellent animation. These last few episodes in particular have been just some top-notch animation for the show. The facial expressions in particular, I thought were really fun to look at in this one. And then you have the I'll say it again, the that entire military, the mock battle thing they did with the paint rounds, that was phenomenal. I have it written down as it's pure military porn there.
The CG smoke bombs or whatever, paint bombs. So they're cell shaded CG, but it looked good. The tanks and most of the military stuff, all CG. Ships are CG, but it all looks fantastic. You know, so they could spend their time very nicely animating people. Oh, who was the blonde girl that was on their squad? They name dropped her, so I assume she's important.
I don't know. I noticed that too. That they obviously that she has a very distinctive character design. She has a full name. I think we see her later on because I think I saw her in the opening titles in like the foreground of one of the scenes. During the basically the attack that Char is planning. She's one of the officers or something like that. And I'm betting she's probably somebody that, if not from First Gundam, is in one of the side bits of war or something like that.
She might be important. She might not be. But yeah, normally when they full on, I don't even think they've said the name of his ex-friend / roommate.
I think we maybe heard his name, but they didn't make a big deal about it.
No, I mean, they didn't make a deal of it, but that was during the entrance ceremony when they're calling everybody's name. He was whatever. I don't care what his name was, Emilio or some shit. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, something is sounding.
And it kind of drives me nuts because I don't think they're not going in alphabetical order. And it kind of drove me nuts as they were. It's like Char Aznavour would one way or the other would be near the front of the list. It's like they just drove me nuts. But yeah, this was a great episode. I did actually Thursday, so I did watch it ahead of time, and I took my notes nice and early today, so that like I had the afternoon to just relax. It was all taken care of.
I, on the other hand, completely forgot to watch it on Thursday and instead watched an episode of Kamen Rider Zeo because a friend of mine linked me to his Dropbox that has all the episodes for that. And then I took my notes today, like
send me that link. Send me the link for that.
I'll have to check to see if he's okay with that.
Yeah, I would like to watch it. I started watching some of the early episodes on some website that was questionable, and I'd rather not continue to do that.
Yeah,
if I can help it. I won't watch the episodes of Picard that Joey sent me because when I clicked on the link that he sent me, it instantly popped up my antivirus software. It was like, oh hey, let's not do this because like this particular site is showing this, and this. And I was like, oh, that's 4 reasons I'm not going to watch this show.
Yeah.
And, malware.
That's for free on YouTube.
No, not Picard.
Picard, yeah. They put the first episode up on YouTube.
Oh, the first episode. Okay.
Yeah. Only the first episode because it's basically, hey, you like that? You like that? Get our service.
I'm just going to wait if I'm going to watch it at all. I want to watch it. I've heard it's good. But either way. So looking forward to next week. It just gets better from here, hopefully, in theory.
We're starting to get into more Mobile Suit stuff. So
we haven't done the math. Where are we gonna end up watching this show versus when Build Diver starts?
Let
me scroll through. Was it April 9th?
I can't remember when they said the new episode was gonna come.
I'm going to look. I have to scroll back there. By the way, they're still showing off new stuff. RG EVA units, all kinds of crap coming.
Yeah.
Oh, they showed
one of those.
They showed off the box for the Mercuon armor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so just the armor, no core.
Yeah, that's what we were figuring. So I have a spare V3 Gundam to use for the core for that.
We're talking about Xena. I don't know if that was her name. To be totally honest, I wasn't paying that close of attention. I'm scrolling back to find the release dates of episodes. I should be close. I think I just went past it. Oh, yeah, right there. April 9th, yes. So let's go look and see how many weeks we have till April 9th. Because we're on episode 5. That means we've got 8 more episodes, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, I think we would literally end the week Build Divers comes out. If we still do one per week, I think we would end on April 5th.
Okay, so
in theory, huh?
So maybe we end up doubling up or something like that, or we may just squeak in at the.
I think we'll be fine. I think we'll literally just run one to the other, like no break. Let me just double check how many episodes we have left. I mean, because I can't just go by the numbers. Okay, so episode 5. Okay, so yeah, we have 8
episodes. 11 or 13 episodes.
Yeah, there's 13. So 8 episodes left, 8 weeks left. So we can't skip a week. It's like, because we do have to do a double episode and start at like 7 to get it done. TV Nihon is a fan sub coalition that hosts both direct downloads as well torrents. There's no licensing violation because the offerings aren't licensed at all. Okay.
Yeah, but they don't stream. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to download. I used to torrent stuff all the time.
Yep. And I'm well aware of TV Nihon. That's who I used to go to all the time.
I think I used them at some point, or somebody told me about them. But yeah, good episode, guys. Make sure you come back next week as we continue doing the thing. And of course, go subscribe to that one.
Please, I would appreciate it.
Link in the description. As always, he needs more subscribers. We need to get him to, we need to get him to like 200 at least by April. So go.
That could be cool.
So before we get to the Re-Rise reviews, he needs to have 200 subs. Do it. That's the new thing. And of course, I don't subscribe to me. It's fine. If you do subscribe to me, please watch the videos because the numbers absolutely do not reflect the amount of people who are. So, yay. And I've got Masterpiece Monday tomorrow. Like I said, I've got Planet X review and Flame Toys review, and probably the next lighting update thing. And then hopefully by like Saturday or maybe even Sunday morning, I may have the actual official announcement for the next contest. So keep that in mind, guys. New contest is coming 100%. So get ready. And of course, guys, have a great week. We're going to have a very rainy one. It's going to suck, but we have to live with it. But
no painting.
No anything. We're supposed to get our area is supposed to get like 3 inches of rain over the week.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but north of that's 4 inches. So, but it's like 3 to 4 days, like an inch of rain a day. It still sucks. But either way, see you guys later. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding, to keep on building, and he'll see you the next time you invade his shelf space.
Oh, stepping on my lines, are we?
Ah! Wasn't going to let him do it. Bye, guys.
Later.
And clear.